Hello, how are you, everyone? Thank you very much for joining here today. We have a peace conversation, and this is on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombing. We will have a time to talk about the peace, and we have different guests come to this particular conversation, and so it should be the relaxing one, not too tight, but maybe you can bring some coffee and tea and so forth too. And so today's guest is my one of the best friend, Guruji, and from India, but he live in New York many years, and so we're working many different programs together. So I'm very grateful that you are able to join me today. So, Guruji, thank you so much. Namaste. How are you?
I'm Avadhuta H. Jagat Guru Dileepji Maharaj. I'm the president at the World Yoga Community and the secretary of the Committee of Religious NGOs at the United Nations. It is great pleasure and honor to be with my friend, Reverend Dr. T.K. Nakagaki, my close friend. Last 10 years, we were working together to bring peace.
Yeah,
and especially I like the events with the Japanese culture.
Oh, okay.
Waiting.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, I went to India too, so I feel very grateful for that. The culture that you have too, and so of course Hinduism is a very important part of the the Indian culture in India itself. So it's very great pleasure to meet you always. And so here today we have some dialogue or actually conversation, but maybe. Yeah, how do we meet, first of all, anyway? Do we have any idea? I don't know, yeah.
So I remember we met at the UN for one of the interfaith events.
Oh,
Church
okay.
Center we met, UN we met, and other public events we met.
Okay. So I guess the interface is a very important part of your life. You do a lot of interface too. Maybe we can start from the little conversation with the interface. So do you think it's something important related to the peace to do the interface activities? What are your thoughts on that?
I born in the interfaith family. My father is from the Orthodox Christian tradition, and my mom is from a Hindu tradition. They had a love marriage. So I born. So by birth, I am an Interfaith Minister. I'm an Interfaith Minister in New York.
Right.
And at seminary, I teach classes for the different groups, conduct programs. Last 35 years, I put interfaith programs in different countries. I travel around the world. It's my passion.
Oh, okay. So that's nice. And then, so it's the interface. Yeah, so it's really like interface is your natural setting to begin with. So yeah, that's very interesting, because sometimes some people, I like myself, it's a little bit different because I'm from Japan, right? Japan is kind of like a Shinto Buddhist, but not many Christian or Hindus or Muslim, anybody is there. So for me, the coming to the New York itself was kind of an opportunity to study or learn the different tradition. So I just wanted to know how you look like. Maybe too natural. Everything is natural that way.
Then I born in a state called Kerala, and we have 33% of Hindus, 30% of Christians, 30% of Muslims, and rest even Jewish people are there. We have a synagogue too. So we grew up with all the mix of people.
Yeah. So that's a very, very different. So when you come to New York, any difference, or do you feel very natural to do?
So only about the accent of English. That's the only thing I had difficulties, because I already had a lot of students in yoga. I teach yoga and train yoga teachers. So I used to have a lot of students from New York. So for me, it was very easy to be here, and especially with the UN, all the activities. So we interact with people.
Yeah, that's good because it is always yoga is also very important part of the peace building for you. I guess you've been doing a lot of yoga activities and spreading the yoga training programs and so forth. How was that things going there, or is it easy or different?
From childhood I started yoga. Right. My parents used to practice, so I saw when I grew up. And I was active in sports 25 years, sports and games through school and college, and I represented for the state and the university.
Yeah.
I kept the yoga as part of my life. Then I never thought it will become as my life, but it became as a life.
So, is there any particular parts of the yoga you enjoy the most, or?
I like all the teachings of yoga. Sometimes we do the vigorous exercise part, and we have meditation separate, and we have the chanting separate, and we have interaction classes, satsangs. And one part I added that was interfaith, all of my events. And then we made the International Day of Yoga. That was my project.
Okay.
And the Prime Minister of India brought that to the UN. So we all worked together to create that day. It became a global movement.
Okay. Because I feel like yoga is very important to create the peace in mind, especially, and then the body balance and everything. So any thoughts on, what do you thoughts on between peace building and the yoga itself, or peace building and then the interfaith?
Okay. Even though yoga is from Hinduism, you see yogic exercise or in Buddhism and other religious practices, you see it. And yogis never stay in one religion. They go beyond the religion. That's where practices are.
Okay.
So we go to the super conscious state. That's our practice. For us, it's very easy to accommodate anybody.
Yeah. So there's no specific. Anybody means everybody. Yeah. So no, discrimination. No, everything is basically treated as equal, I guess. So that's right. So because sometimes religion become kind of obstruct. The kind of a barrier of the.
A lot of time people stick with the rituals and they cannot grow further.
Right.
For us, create a healthy body, mind, and the soul. That is our purpose. So yogic philosophy for the ultimate stage is enlightenment. So we have to work on it in this life or the next life.
Yeah. So, well, it's supposed to be the truth or Dharma, I guess, supposed to be equal to everyone. Yeah. Not everybody can have access to the truth, I guess, from that sense. Yeah, that's very nice. But also, I know you play a lot of instruments too. So you play the music instruments, or like those things. How you help your life,
Right. The drum. Usually, I sing and do a lot of drumming.
Yeah.
And the beat go with some dances. Sometimes we ask people to dance rhythm. We have this meaningful life. All the animals sing, and we can sing too. And we can dance. That's a form of meditation.
Okay, so in a way,
relaxation too.
So you become like a oneness with the nature or something like that. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So, when you grow up, so that's so you play all the instrument as well as a trainer.
I never learned instruments. I just observed my brother. He used to play drums. So I just look it and learn it very fast. Because my parents, they were good in different arts.
Yeah.
My mom used to do painting and drawing. My dad was a good musician for harmonium.
So that's why you have a kind of a
my grandmother used to sing. My aunt used to dance. My father's younger brother used to play tabla. So that's in our blood.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. If that's the case, you just learn everything from the ears, and you see all the people playing and everything. So it's in a part of your life too. That's interesting.
And we have the festivity in our life in India. We visit all the temples. You see 1 week celebration with all the musicians, dancers, singers, and even churches. It's a big festival. It's not like here. It's totally different.
Okay.
So all the children will go and enjoy each other festivals.
Okay, sounds good. So, so since we have these things for 75th anniversary too, so I just on the Hiroshima atomic bombing. So I was wondering whether you have any thoughts on the this Hiroshima and Nagasaki itself or 75th anniversary itself.
Yeah, I always think about Hiroshima and Nagasaki because I learned from my school about this bombing.
Okay.
I always wonder what happened, who made the mistake, who did the problems. Whatever happened, there is one thing I learned from Japanese culture: they are ready to reconcile and they are ready to forgive. Even though they cannot forget things, that's fine, but they are able to understand the situation. They are ready to love others. That's the best part I see. So we had to continue that type of movement around the world. We had to avoid any type of violence in any form with anybody. And we had to help each other, even share our technology and other knowledge and make world as a better place to live. That's a UN Sustainable Development Goal Agenda number 16 about peace. We have a short life to celebrate our existence. So definitely Japanese culture, especially new generation, shows the accommodative nature, very forgiving nature. I always appreciate that part. Please continue that nature of living and be a model for the world.
That's nice. Yeah. So hope we can do that same way. I mean, the way that you described. And so for the a peace building, is there any thing that you feel this is something that important to keep in mind when you do the peace building or peace activities?
For peace building, definitely we should have weekly gatherings, even online or even physical gathering, even a cup of tea. Just go to a restaurant, have a cup of tea with the 10 people as a close circle. Develop different groups. And monthly, a bigger group should be gathering, and they can share their values, their teachings, philosophies, and they can perform music, art, or dance. Just have some celebrations. And annually, we can celebrate the International Day of Peace with the UN agenda. Bring people from different faith and culture. This will make a big difference. A lot of time people just sit without doing anything and the evil spirit will attack them. So make them to learn some musical instruments or be in sports and games. Be engaged 24 hours. That's the way
24 hours. Sure.
I never waste my time when I was a teenager. I was very active in sports, arts, and different extracurricular activities because my dad was like that, my brother, sister were like that. My mom always encouraged me to go to different things to learn. So that made me as I am now.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's activities make you in a way the rhythm. You maybe create the rhythm too. I guess if you do
and a lot of things Sunday. To learn every single day.
Sure.
There's no limit to learn things. So people can learn new things, and the idea of thinking it will be totally different when they learn more things.
Right.
I never learned computer. Now the life forced me to learn computer. Now I help people to design things.
Yeah.
Life.
Sure.
When I came to America, when I don't know how to speak English, even though I learned how to write and read in my college and school, we never speak English. And even accent is different. So I put extra effort to learn it. Still I make mistakes. I just take it as easy. It's not my language, somebody's language.
Yeah. Because learning. Because for me too, this show itself, this program itself is based upon the after pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic. So otherwise, I don't start making a video either. So this is also kind of a new learning for me now to bring the all the different idea to the those YouTubes or video making, so called. But it's actually very interesting, different ways. I mean, I was never think of interviewing this way, but now so we can do that. So
Right.
it's kind of fun, and then yeah.
It's
So
also an art, Sometimes I ask people from different countries, how do you say hello in your language?
right, yeah.
Actually, I can learn, konnichiwa. So people from
konnichiwa.
Japan will be so happy.
Yeah, namaste too.
Hi and bye.
Uh-huh.
Learning in the language, they feel a connection.
Yeah, I think so. Even just one word, if you know the other language, make you, kind of all of a sudden become close or something. Yeah. So the tongue is actually very important. I guess the words that we use. Yeah. That's interesting. And maybe sometimes I wonder, a lot of people has a different part of their life, that helps you to grow up and helps people to grow up. Do you have any particular incident, you always appreciate this particular incident so that you are here the way that you are now?
I always think about great masters that I spend time with them, I spend more than 300 masters in my life.
Oh, okay.
Go and learn different things. The end part with the Swami Goa, he was at the UN with all the diplomats. He blew the shell at the UN. That's a shell I blew today. And I was a caretaker for him. He lived 123 years. He traveled around the world. And when I listened to his story, life story, it's very supportive for a new person in America. Came from India. He traveled around the world 90 times and settled in New York. And those days only one Hindu monk in the city.
Oh, okay.
People ignore him in the beginning, He's wearing the dhoti and all the stuff, and slowly people understand, he can breathe through his eyes, he can blow the shell for long time, and teach all the yogas, and he know all the popular people. And slowly people became friends, and they bring all the religious people together and have a gathering every year. So when I came here, him, Rabbi Galbrum, and all were supporting me to grow. They all passed away, so I continued their work. Where it is going on. So it seems like something pulling me to the community here more than India where I lived. Now online people are coming from India. Even today morning we had so many people from India. We are interacting through computer. And the world is becoming smaller now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, even like all the what do you call it?
So we never know what will happen in future.
Yeah, sure.
A few months back, we never thought, there's a corona is going to make our life different.
Because that's true. This particular virus itself is really changing the entire world now.
Someday it is a blessing for us, even though it's hurting so many people's life.
Right.
Make us to understand life is very short. Be humble and simple. Love each other. That's the way we're supposed to live.
Yeah, so I agree. So yeah, well, it's very wonderful to talking to you. And so maybe lastly, if since we have some audience, maybe Japan or US or other people, any particular message if you have maybe to people in Japan and people in the US or something like that.
So this is the way I believe. The international integration events is supposed to create more and more interfaith events and gathering and music and dance. Bring together. This is a way people learn each other, their cultures, different cultures, and we understand that a tiny, small animal in a human body living here. We don't have to live in an ego or dogmatic life. We have to be a servant of humanity. That's the way we have to live.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. So, any of the things you wanted to share? This is your chance. Or maybe your activities.
Yeah,
or,
maybe it will be nice to say this one. Swami Guru used to say, begin the day with love, build the day with love, spend the day with love, end the day with love. That's the way to go.
Okay.
Not anything else.
So that's a great way of peace. Make a peaceful world, a peaceful life that you have. Okay, well, thank you again. So, namaste. Thank you so much for all your time and then all your, activities you are organizing, and then, the bringing peace to all of the people in this, your neighbors or your world. I mean, our world too. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.